भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कारं चैव प्रायशोतत्रे भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया ॐ विष्णुपत्ताय कृष्णकान्तस्वामीति नाम नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे आनन्द श्री अद्वैत आदर्श हे कृष्ण हरे राम हे canto by chapter 18. Bharat Maharaj sometimes could not see the deer, his mind would be very agitated, he would become like a miser for having obtained some riches had then become very unhappy. The deer was gone, he would be filled with anxiety, lament due to separation. All the feelings, details can be different, mind agitated, and like miser become lamentation, some illusion. Poor man loses some money. Finally, Maharaja Bharata would be created. This is an example of how our attachment can be transferred. Attachment is transferred to Lord's service with progress. Attachment is good, but it has to be. Srila Rupa Goswami prayed to the Lord that he would be as natural. Young men and young women are natural. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited such attachment to God when he jumped into the ocean, cried at night in separation. However, if our attachment is diverted to material, God will fall down from the spiritual. Very simple, straightforward sentence. Attachment is required towards the Lord, Lord's service, devotees, and how that attraction should be, just like young man and young woman are naturally attracted. If our attachment is diverted to material things instead of to the Lord, we will. If our attachment remains uh, with the Lord, we will be simple. Just Bharat Maharaj would think, alas, the deer is now helpless. I am now very unfortunate, and mind is like a cunning hunter, for it is always filled with cheating propensity, cruelty. The deer has put its faith in me, just as a good man who has natural interest in behavior forgets the behavior of a cunning friend and puts his faith. Proved faithless, which is dear return and place its faith in me. So he's putting himself, justifying himself, the cheater, cruel, that for the animal it put its faith in me, but I'm not taking care of it nicely. Will it ever return? Gopal is appreciating the quality of Bharat, very noble and exalted. Therefore, when the deer was absent from him, he thought himself worthy to give it protection. Due to his attachment for the animal, he thought that the animal was noble as exalted as himself was. According to the logic, Atmavan, Manyate, Jagat, everyone thinks of others according to. Therefore, Maharaj Bharat felt that the deer had left him due to his intelligence and the well, done. This is also a good insight. People look at this world according to their own position. What they say, what they see is everything what they are. Last, is it possible that I shall again see this animal protected and fearless of they again see him wandering in the garden eating soft grass? Raja Bharata thought that the animal was disappointed in his protection and had left him for demigod. Regardless, he ardently desired to see the animal again within his ashram. Thus, Raja Bharata could think only of the deer and how the animal be protected from all auspicious. From a materialistic point of view, such kind thoughts may be very laudable. From the spiritual point of view, the calling salt is materialistic point of view, such kind thoughts which we always keep and we be kind. That's Prabhupada is making it very clear. That's the reason we say, read Prabhupada's purports clearly, we will know how we have to live. And of course, I mean, our conditioning, our mind, all our material existence is absolutely not conducive to spiritual growth. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been here. We would not be here. So we should understand whatever is natural to us is possibly not recommended. Because whatever is natural to us is what has bound us in this world. So we have to unlearn whatever we have learned over multiple lifetimes. That can happen only by hearing some. So materialistic point of view, such kind thoughts may be very laudable, but from the spiritual point of view, he was actually falling, unnecessarily becoming attached. Necessary attachment is towards the Lord and his devotees. Unnecessary attachment to devotees. Just degrading himself, he would have to accept an animal body. I do not know, but the deer might have been eaten by a wolf or a dog or by the horse that flock together, the tiger who travels alone. Hmm. Human beings think like this. Think he has not come home and they're very delayed. Then think of so many negative things. Generally, mind brings negative things because that is can actually this is also very insightful. Why does mind bring negative? Anybody wants to try? Why does the mind bring negative things? Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I mean, I think, yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
No, no. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, so negative things, Prabhu, I think when we forget that Krishna is in control, right? I mean, when we are deeply associated to the matter, or not deeply, at least, you know, when we keep contemplating on materialistic things, right? Because you always have that fear of losing. So that's when negativity comes. That's what I think.
Okay. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu. So two things I felt, Prabhu. One, negative things when we are not completely dependent on Krishna. So we are not, our belief is not strong on Krishna. Then these thoughts comes. Second, when we are too much materially attached, then
Hmm.
this
See, but
negativity.
understand that I'm talking about the thoughts springing up in our head. When the thought comes, if you have faith in Krishna, you might say, okay, fine, it's fine. Just I'm asking
Hmm.
why the mind comes up with these thoughts. Because it's involuntary. Whatever the mind does is involuntary. That is what we call as conditioning. You understand this is just a result of what we've experienced in our past lives. And because most of our negative experiences in our past lives get registered very deeply in our minds. So naturally for us, positive things. And of course, there are some people who in whose minds positive things, as in are no negative things. So which basically means that it's their nature, it's from their past lives, from their conditioning. And so those who have negative, who are generally negative by nature, by association with Krishna can turn it positive or at least neutral to start with, then turn it positive. So we should understand this also. So some of these things can't necessarily be controlled. They can be transformed, meaning the thought is there, But instead of me reacting to it, I might just ignore it. Alas, when the sun rises, all auspicious things begin. Unfortunately, they have not begun for me. This, look at this. I mean, so many verses, so many verses. First time I read it, I thought like, what is the big deal? Then I'm able to understand, saying that this is how we function. This is how materially attached we are. That we go on going for small things. It will be so small, but we will keep processing, keep processing. Turn it this side, turn it that side, this perspective, that perspective. Overthinking, all over attachment. Sun God is the Vedas personified, but I'm bereft of all Vedic principles. Sun God is now secking at the poor animal who trusted in me since its mother died as not returned. Here is exactly like a prince. When will it return? When will it again display its personal quality activities, which are so pleasing? When will it again pacify a wounded heart like mine? Wounded heart like mine. Certainly must have no pious assets, otherwise the deer would have returned by now. King addressed the animal as though it were his son. For perfection, anyone can be addressed as anything. As the small deer, while playing with me and seeing me feigning meditation with closed eyes, circumambulate me due to anger arising from love, treating it like and it would fearfully touch me with the points of its soft arm. It felt like drops of water. So that while engaged in meditation, he was always thinking of his deer, and he would feel great pleasure when the animal pricked him, points of its horns. Feigning meditation, the king would actually think of the animal. Also, what we are doing, meaning chanting Hare Krishna, mind is engaged on thinking about material. So we should try hard. It's only by the sincere desire. It's not that we will achieve this control over distraction. We can't achieve. Krishna's mercy, it can happen. And Krishna, when will he give mercy? When we are sincerely trying. Otherwise, it's practically impossible materially for us to overcome. By the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he is pleased, he will empower us to control us only by his mercy. Our sincere effort. And I placed all the sacrificial ingredients on the pusha grass, the deer when playing would touch the grass with its teeth, pollute it. And small children do. Putting hand into the mouth inside the temple. Yagna was happening in some small baby, really, where mother was there. His hand into his stop the ask the mother to take out, wash its hands. Train children not to put their hands into their beauty. Contaminate. Nowadays, actually, adults only put. Oh, yesterday I was talking about cleanliness in the world. Not one point. Normally, people have this habit of putting their hand, touching their mouth with their hand. As a general, and when sitting in hearing classes, the hands or fingers will be on the mouth or the lips. Or yeah, sometimes we put our hands into our nose. Now, whatever we do, we have to clean our hand. First of all, hand should not come near the mouth at all. Only while eating it has to come. Of course, if it goes into the nose or ears due to whatever natural requirement, then hand has to be washed. When I chastise the deer by pushing it away, it would immediately become fearful and sit down motionless, exactly like a saintly person. Thus, it would stop its play. Meditation on the after speaking like a madman. See, madman, also mad behind attachment to material. Maharaja Bharata got up and went outside, seeing the footprints of the deer on the ground. He praised the footprints out of love, saying, "Oh, unfortunate Bharata, austerities and penances are very insignificant compared to the penance and austerity undergone by Earth planet, like he's seeing Krishna's footprints he's acting. Due to Earth's severe penances, the footprints of this deer, which are small, beautiful, most auspicious, and soft, are imprinted on the surface of this fortunate planet. Series of footprints show a person like me who am bereaved due to loss of the deer, how the animal has passed through the forest, and how I can regain my lost wealth. Since this land has become a proper place for Brahmanas who desire heavenly planets, liberation, to execute sacrifices to. So that when a person becomes overly involved in loving affairs, he forgets himself as well as others, and he forgets how to act and how to speak. He said that once when a man's son was blind since birth, the father, out of staunch affection for the child, named him Padma Lochana, lotus eyed. This is a situation arising from blind love. Maharaja Bharata gradually fell into this condition due to his material love for the. Maharaja Bharata continued to speak like a madman, seeing above his head the dark marks on the rising moon, which resembled a deer. He said, "Can it be that the moon, who is so kind to an unhappy man, might also be kind upon my deer, knowing that it has strayed from home and has become motherless? This moon has given the deer shelter near itself, just to protect it from the fear." Perceiving the moonshine, Maharaja Bharata continued like a crazy person. That the dear son was so submissive and dear to me that due to its separation and feeling separation from my own son, the burning fever of the separation I'm suffering as if inflamed by forest fire. This is what we experience materially. Burning fever of separation. Why we become so stressed, etc. etc. My heart, which is like the lily of the land, is now burning. Seeing me so distressed, moon is certainly splashing its shining nectar upon me. As a friend throws water on another friend was. This way the moon is bringing me. According to Ayurvedic treatment, it is said that if one has high fever, someone's splashing with. After gargling this water, in this way the fever subsides. Sukadeva Goswami continued, "My dear king, in this way, Bharat Maharaj was overwhelmed by an uncontrollable desire. It was manifest in the form of the deer. The important thing. It was overwhelmed by an uncontrollable desire. Now it can take any form. This uncontrollable desire can take any form. Be food, it could be person of the opposite gender, it could be an animal, it could be possessions, it could be false ego, it could be our property, it could be our position, it could be money. Okay. Due to the fruitive results of his past deeds, he fell down from mystic yoga. Of course, it was in Bhava, so some anarthas will be there, some anarthas, little anarthas. Because in our acharyas also say that not so much about his anarthas as much due to his misuse of free will. It's not that it was actually it was not a result of his past karma phala, but it was because of his misuse of his free will. Fell down from mystic yoga asceti in worshippers, but not due to his past fruitive activity. How could he have been attracted to the deer after giving it us and falling? Considering them stumbling blocks of the. How could he show such uncontrollable affection for a deer? It was definitely due to his past karma. Today, Goswami is saying it's due to his past karma. King was so engrossed in petting and maintaining the deer that he fell down from his spirit. Because of time, insurmountable death, which is compared to a venomous snake that enters the hole created by a mouse situated itself in. As will be seen in later verses, Bharat Maharaj at the time of death would be forced to accept the body of the deer due to his attraction for the deer. Regard, a question may be raised: how can a devotee be affected by his past misconduct and vicious activities? Samhita, it is said, Karmani nirdhati kintu cha bhakti pajam. Those engaged in devotional service, bhajana, results of past deeds are indemnified. According to this, Bharata Maharaja could not be punished for his past. Conclusion must be that Maharaja Bharata purposefully became over addicted to the deer and neglected his spiritual advancement, which means misuse of free will. To immediately rectify his mistake, for a short time he was awarded the body of a deer. This was just to increase his desire for mature devotional service. Please understand, by chance we get stuck with something like this silly, we might fall down, but not fully. Of course, for that we should be in the position of exalted positions, etc. And by some chance happen. So he was awarded the body of an animal. He did not forget what had previously happened. Like, very anxious to get out of his dear body, and this indicates that his affection was high. So much so that he was quickly to attain perfection in the Brahmana body. It is with this conviction that we declare in our Back to God magazine, what is like the Goswamis living in Vrindavan who purposefully commit some sin, are born in the bodies of dogs, tortoises, born as dogs, monkeys, tortoises. Devotees who made some purposefully committed some sin. Thus, they take on these lower life forms for a short while, and after they give up those animal bodies, they are again promoted. Such punishment only for a short period, and it is not due to past karma. It may appear to be due to past karma, but it is for to rectify the bring him to good. But this is for those who have made advancement, who don't have material desires. Those who have a desire for pure devotional service, they can go through this path. Those who have mixed devotion, then because they anyway desire mixed devotion, they will get it as a result. As they want it, they will get it. But devotees don't want it. It's just by mistake, by some misuse. So as a punishment, Lord mercifully gives some little punishment and brings them back, elevates them back. But for a mixed devotee wants material, he will just take that route. Yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu. Thanks, Prabhu.
Yeah.
How the animal body for a short while makes the devotee come to the spiritual process again.
Yeah, here it says, no, he's very anxious to get out of his dear body. Here.
Mm.
Bharat Maharaj was awarded the body of an animal, but he did not forget what had previously happened due to his purposeful mistake.
Yeah.
So this remembrance is also given. And because of that remembrance, now the soul is thinking, oh, I wasted time. So he becomes anxious and get out of his dear body. This in that his affection for devotional service was this intensifies that devotional service.
Yeah.
And there are less chances of falling down in an animal body. So it's like in one way, protection also. God is giving protection to the devotee by giving him this kind of a body in which he can't do any more nonsense. Because in this body, he will be controlled by nature with respect to what he can do, what he cannot do. So forced body which is forced on the devotee so that he doesn't make further mistakes. So merciful Lord is. I mean, that is why so many things we can, realizations can come.
Yeah, which means that the animals of Vraja, they are also like they
Yeah.
remember their past lives and
All
they
great devotees. Right? Otherwise, they won't get a chance to be. Which is why even with all jivas in Vrindavan, even an insect, even a cockroach, We should not see it with mundane vision. Anything else?
Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I just wanted to share, maybe I heard it or because one reason for the fall down of Bharat Maharaj was that he was not having any association. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, he was not having association. It was not, yeah, if he had had some association, somebody would have possibly pulled him back, pulled him out. Right. So there are two things. One is he was alone, didn't have association, and he misused his free will. And because of that, it became like a really helpless. Couldn't he had to follow. There were some devotees would have pulled him out.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Association.
So, like, we should learn from here that association is very important at all stages.
Yeah.
And of course, how do we avoid to use our free will? Like,
Yeah, we can't avoid using free will. Free will has to be used. That is the nature of the jiva. Free will should not be misused. So
yes, that
generally,
will.
so generally when we see by hearing or by sincere practice of Krishna consciousness, we will come to know that this, okay, my mind is coming up with this thought, doesn't look like it's good for me. Right? That consciousness should come to the devotee. Right? If he's sincere, that thought will come to him. But then if he's too much overpowered by illusion, then he might just ignore or say it's okay, one time I will do what is there. But a sincere devotee, what he will do, he will immediately go to a devotee, another devotee who is very near, very elevated, who been guiding that and tell, say, see, this nonsense thought is coming to my mind, please help me. What should I do? How can I avoid it? How can I protect myself? What is expected?
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Pranam.
Prabhuji, like you said, the animals of Vrindavan. Once, Prabhu, when we were doing the yatra, like we started from Vrindavan, we went to Mathura. One dog, जब तक हम लोगों ने पूरा महीना कार्तिक का, we did not finish the yatra. The dog was with us, and he would be on the boat. He would whenever we took shelter, like he would be out camp tent के बाहर रहता था. If you gave him a little prasadam, he would eat. Otherwise, he would not do anything. And when we reached Vrindavan after the yatra, we just did not see him, Prabhu. And another realization now when we are talking about Prabhu, like once while scrolling, this Shushmita Sen, like she's a very good talker. So I just got into it, and she was doing a movie called Thali, and she was doing a lot. She was talking about a eunuch which she was depicting in the movie. I got so enwrapped in the eunuch this thing. Itna mere ko, I told Prabhu, why can't we do philanthropic work? Why can't we help them? Why can't we do? Prabhu, almost for 2-3 months, I was in that frame of mind, like, except for chanting, I was not doing anything. I said, why are we putting, like how a karmi thinks? And then I said, I want to watch this movie, and I watched the movie Thali. And Prabhu kept telling me, he said, Nai, like, tu kya kar rahi hai? Like, and I just wouldn't listen to him. Ultimately, I took and Prabhu, it becomes quite depressive, and you have answers for, like, you had answers for anything he spoke. Then I took a help of a senior devotee, and then, almost for a month, like every second day he would speak to me, and then, he said, yes, Mataji, he did not jump onto me. He said, philanthropic work is very good. You should do it. Why not do it? And very slowly, very gradually, he said, if you don't give them Krishna consciousness, what happens? You're just adding karma. It's just vikarma or akarma. There is nothing else. He says, then he gave me the example of Mother Teresa. He says, what we materialistic people, when you talk about Mother Teresa, oh, she's a saint. Oh, he says, you know how much of karma she's taken? Okay, she's done good work for which she'll get some surkati. but how much of karma, bad karma also she's taken. She's been giving them non-veg. She's taught them, and Prabhu, that struck me so hard. He said, they cannot run away from their karma. When you hear about the rapes, you hear about women into brothels, or you hear about eunuchs. He says that is that karma. Help them. You give them some prasad. Help them. And Prabhu, he says, try give them your Gita. They will not accept it. Give them a bottle of liquor. They will take it. But you cannot. The only way, yes, if you want to do, he says, give them food for life. Bring them to the temple. Somehow try to help them with the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. He says that will help them. And this is so very truthful, Prabhu. Like, you cannot run away from karma. This happens. He says, why aren't we in that position? Because some good karma, some sukruti, we have come into Krishna consciousness. So Prabhu, this has been a journey. And I hope, I went through it the hard way. I hope some realization will come out of it. Thank you, Prabhu. I'm so glad. I don't know if I should have shared it.
No, it's relevant, right? Because all of us in our lives would have, at some point or the other, gone through these kind of experiences where we are completely driven, right? Of course, Maharaja Bharata and our situations are slightly different because he was really, he did not, it was not due to his past karma, but for us, it might be because of serious anarthas that we have, that we might end up doing some things by our patients, etc. But important thing is to note that we should take shelter when we are experiencing something which seems not normal or unusual, which not other devotees do. We have to be very careful. We should not think that I may be different and special. No, special in the sense that we might just right. So you are
Prabhu, you shouldn't.
In that situation that you held on to somebody. Otherwise, these things can be so overpowering.
Yes, Prabhu, it was very overpowering, and you should not feel the shame. You should, itna saal se main hu, why should I go to somebody so junior? You should not feel the shame to take help. You should, I'm very, very grateful to, Guru and Gauranga that, my Prabhu tried to explaining, wahi baat ghar ki kheti. He did his best, but I just, counteracted him with everything. So you should not feel the shame to take help from anybody you think could help you out.
Yeah,
Thank you, Prabhu.
Very important. Also, will come in. So, which is why generally a good, a safe net for all practicing devotees is to have somebody like that in our life whom we can always look up to, whom we can always go, whom we trust, right? And who is knowledgeable, who is experienced, who can help us out, and that will make all the difference. In remaining in Krishna consciousness, staying down. Yeah, Shashank.
Yeah, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, one small doubt I got. Like the anarthas which we are getting in life, is it something Krishna is giving test, or is it different? Like
No, anarthas are not
Krishna
giving
can test our bhakti.
No. That is all for very exalted.
Both are different, no?
Not for us. The situation is just
Okay.
our anarthas are there, they have to be cleaned. All purification. For us, whatever is happening is all for. See, two, three things, right? One is when you very early stages of our bhakti, it's all our karma phala. If we are also surrendered to Krishna, then Krishna will protect us by giving us less suffering and giving us learnings so that we can actually make progress. So then these anarthas, which are also manifestation of karmas, we would have got kind of mind which is influenced by these things. So these things will pop up till we are cleansed, till we are fully cleansed. Subsequently, Krishna will give those pure devotees glorification. Tests are not these are very too trivial or not the platform on which Krishna will test devotees. Krishna will test devotees in a much what like like in possibly so Krishna wants to glorify his devotees first, and Krishna will put situations which will bring out their best at a very exalted level, not like some petty kama, krodha, and all that. Right? Like, for example, I mean, I want to take an example of like, somebody just stabbed a knife into his back, and this is just this is not because of any exhibition of any anartha, right? So it was just to glorify how what is the consciousness of, right? So the point here, it's easy to explain. So it's not because of Maharaj had any kind of material. It's not because of any of these kama krodha, what he went through. What he went through is just Krishna's desire to glorify his pure devotee, that he was put through this kind of a situation where somebody came to stab him, right? As in, for anybody else, it would have possibly could have been just a result of past karma, but not for Maharaj, right? So like that. So Krishna, but that's for only exalted devotees, not for all time. I mean, like not at least devotees, that not for small devotees, like really big devotees who have already reached that stage, who have sacrificed everything for Krishna, who given their life, and Krishna wants to glorify them. Krishna wants to glorify such devotees, and Krishna does some things like that, but that's not for everybody. Mostly for us, it will be see the way I heard somebody saying that technically, right? But that when we say that karmani nitati, that all karma is destroyed, while karma is destroyed, but still Krishna uses the same karma to teach us. If you go to an astrologer will say, okay, you are going through bad time, and actually you will be experiencing bad time. So then you will think, oh, see, I'm not exalted at all. Then it will come make you humble. You will think, okay, I'm not such a advanced devotee after all. I'm suffering my karma phala. But actually, Krishna is just in some way deceiving us or protecting us so that our false ego doesn't further increase. Like suppose say your astrologer says something and you're not at all experiencing that in your life at that point of time. Then you'll think, see, I've already overcome all karma phala. So Krishna doesn't want devotees to become poor, right? So what he does is he takes on the same karma phala, lets it let it manifest in our life, but with a complete intention not to give us suffering, but to actually give us purification, give us more attachment to him. Right, so it's I mean some of these topics are very complicated, because in one case it is said that there is no suffering at all for him, meaning there's no karma phala at all. But in another case, that there are semblance of karma phala, which means it's not for just for punishment, but it's for purification. And then of course for very elevated devotee, it is for their glorification. And for us it is purification, for them it is glorification, for others it is just punishment. So three types we can explain.
Okay, Prabhu. Thanks, Prabhu. I understood that astrologer example. I clearly understood, Prabhu. Yeah. Thanks, Prabhu.
Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, regarding those animals in the Vrindavan, is it same with all the animals in the other dhams?
Yeah, all dhams.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because you won't get to enter the dham unless you have some qualification, irrespective of what jiva you are. It's true about of course, then there will be migrant animals from other places, etc. But this is like those animals which are born there. Like also
Okay.
different between people, devotees, or jivas born in the dham and jivas who moved into the. There's a difference in qualification. Okay, anything else?
Yes, Prabhuji, like you said, in continuation to your discussion regarding Karma Phala, so I was thinking like to whom this verse is relevant, Tatte Anukampam Susamekshamano. Like it is for normal people like us also, like the practicing sadhakas, because sometimes when there are problems, we think if we'll face them nicely without complaining, then Krishna will be pleased. Or like I want the understanding of this verse basically. Like when there are struggles, it is Karmphala or like.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, tat te anukampa. So one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds. Atma kritam vipakam, that is past deeds, and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body is fully eligible for liberty. So here again, all the while patiently suffering the reactions. Now every devotee thinks that he is going through sinful reactions, going through karma phala. Nobody who is a real devotee thinks that no, this is Krishna's test. Or no, this is actually not punishment, this is purification. Right? A devotee does not think that way. Devotee thinks I am so fallen, this is the result of my previous sinful activities, and I have to suffer, and I will patiently suffer, and I will just continue to do my devotion. But just that this thought process that I'm going to suffer and I'm going to continue my devotion shows the high caliber of the devotee. But the devotee will not think that has high caliber. He will think, no, I am fallen soul. This is all result of my past karma. You know, of my karma has been destroyed. Karma has been destroyed. So that is what normally Prabhupada says, that a devotee doesn't think.
Yes, Prabhuji.
See here, Prabhupada is answering here in the Bhagavad. Lord Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that devotee who fully surrenders unto him, no longer liable to suffer the reactions of his previous. However, because in his mind a devotee may still maintain the remnants of his previous sinful mentality, the Lord removes the last vestiges of the enjoyment spirit by giving his devotee punishments that may sometimes resemble sinful reactions. This is the purification. So for one who has surrendered, it's purification. For one who is not surrendered, like I said, mixed devotee, it's punishment. For a great devotee, it is glorification. Although devotee has surrendered to the Lord's devotion service until he is completely perfect in Krishna consciousness, he may maintain a slight inclination to enjoy the false happenings of this world. This is the false ego or the misuse of the free will. The Lord therefore creates a particular situation to eradicate this remaining enjoying spirit. This unhappiness suffered by a sincere devotee is not technically a karmic reaction. It is rather the Lord's special mercy for inducing his devotee to completely let go of the material world and return home. Sincere devotee earnestly desires to go back to the Lord's abode. Therefore, he willingly accepts the Lord's merciful punishment, continues offering respects and obeisances with his heart's words and body. Such a bona fide servant of the Lord, considering all hardship a small price to pay. See, please, why some of these verses, purports are so powerful. Such a bona fide servant of the Lord, considering all hardship a small price to pay for gaining the personal association of the Lord, certainly becomes a legitimate son of God, as indicated here by God. Without undergoing a rigid purificatory process, which may appear like suffering, but it is in fact a curative treatment administered by the personal hand. Without this, one cannot approach this. So, if we have surrendered, then we can simply understand that whatever we are going through is just for purification. If we have not surrendered, then it is punishment, normal karma phala. And if we are really advanced, then it's glorification.
Yes, Prabhuji, got it. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we'll close it. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Shri